North Carolina taking on the Beamer boys. You better watch out for the Beamer boys. UNC is a favorite heading into this game by 2.5 points. UNC, when you think of this team, I think of one player, and that's Drake Maye. If Drake Maye plays well in this game, UNC is going to be in it into the final end. But if South Carolina can neutralize Drake Maye and this UNC offense, this is going to be a very long afternoon for them. South Carolina is not a team that you should be overlooking. It doesn't matter if you think UNC is a better team, if they got the better quarterback. You want to know why? Because South Carolina has Shane Beamer. And one thing about it is that in big games, Shane Beamer has these boys always ready to play. Who the hell would have thought they would have been able to beat Clemson and then destroy Tennessee? I mean, not just did they destroy Hendon Hooker's Heisman hopes and his draft stock, but they also ruined Tennessee's playoff hopes. So you look at what South Carolina did at the end of last year and how hot Spencer Rattler was. If Spencer Rattler can carry the momentum that he had last season into this game, South Carolina potentially could run away with this thing if Drake Maye doesn't play well. Now, the good thing is that if you're a Tar Heels fan, is that there's a high chance that Drake Maye plays well in this game. As a matter of fact, I'll be extremely surprised if Drake Maye doesn't play well in this game. The reason being is because, guess what? South Carolina didn't have a damn defense last year. Now, North Carolina, they didn't have a defense last year neither, so there should be a lot of points scored in this game. But South Carolina's secondary, though, is really good. Their defensive line, their linebacker unit should be improved this year, but the strength of this defense is the talent and depth that they have at cornerback. They lost 2 starters to the NFL last year, one of those guys being Cam Smith, but they got some pretty good guys in the fold who should be able to step up and give them really good production. And UNC's receivers are pretty talented, but against this South Carolina secondary, they're going to be challenged. There aren't too many secondaries in the ACC that UNC is going to face this year that have the kind of athleticism and physicality that South Carolina has. This UNC offense, though, when Drake Maye is rolling and he's cooking on all cylinders, they're a headache to stop. And Drake Maye trying to slow him down is kind of something that is a little bit of a dream to have happen. Honestly, like, if you think South Carolina can shut down Drake Maye, you got a lot of confidence in this defense. Because Drake Maye, the gap between him and Caleb Williams isn't that big. Drake Maye, I've seen this fool do some crazy shit last year in his first season starting at North Carolina. There was a game, I believe it was against Miami. He's getting sacked, still completes the pass anyway. Like, anything that Caleb Williams can do, I think Drake Maye can do. He's that kind of quarterback. So trying to slow him down is damn near impossible. Because anytime you think you got this fool trapped, he just finds a way to Houdini himself out of it. Now, South Carolina's offense against UNC's defense, that's the biggest story in this game. Because South Carolina defensively, I think they got way more talent than what North Carolina has. As a matter of fact, if you had to ask me which defense I thought was going to play better in this game, I will go with South Carolina. Now, the reason why I say South Carolina has a better defense than UNC is because they got a lot of great athletes up front. UNC, they got a lot of talent on their defensive line, but we really don't know if they really have anybody who can really step up like South Carolina can when it comes to being able to get pressure on a quarterback. I think that South Carolina's pass rush is going to be really good this year. And a lot of Gamecock fans are excited about the talent that they have on the defensive line also. It's just more so who's going to end up stepping up, who's going to end up being able to make the big plays. Meanwhile, for UNC, you know, this is a defense that they just let whatever happen last year. If you wanted to get a lot of yards to the air, you were able to have success doing that. You had success running the ball on this defense. And Spencer Rattler, as I mentioned earlier, he had a lot of momentum to end last year. If he plays this game like how he did his final 3 games of 2022, it's going to be a long afternoon for UNC's defense, and it's going to be a lot of pressure on their offense to keep up with South Carolina. South Carolina is a team that isn't just one player dependent. UNC kind of is. The main reason why they're even ranked in the top 25 is because of Drake Maye. I was listening to Joel Klatt the other day, and he posted his top 25. He had UNC in it, and he said it's because of Drake Maye. If this game comes down to a situation where UNC has to find a way to get a stop, do you really think they're going to be able to do so? Spencer Rattler is turnover prone. He does have the tendency to be a little careless and reckless at times due to his backyard style play. But even then, in the fourth quarter, if he's playing a good game and he's just lighting your defense up, South Carolina, their defense, with how good their secondary is, there's a chance that they could come away with a key stop and come away with them more frequently late in this game if it ends up coming down to the wire than what North Carolina is going to be able to be. And USC fans, if they're being unbiased, they probably would tell you the same thing. They don't really have too much faith in this defense this year. They're just asking their defense to get key stops. South Carolina, with what they have on this defensive line this year, they should be able to get some pressure on Drake Maye and be able to get this offense off the field in third down situations. Now, let me lay out this scenario, right? What if Spencer Rattler reverts back to the quarterback that we saw the first half of last season, where he struggled with consistency, he struggled with ball security, and he just wasn't that good? This game dramatically kind of would tilt in UNC's favor. Even though their defense wouldn't be that great, Spencer Rattler, with how inconsistent he can be at times, can make a bad defense look solid at certain moments. And with Drake Maye in this offense, you trust them with Drake Maye having the ball in his hands every single play. Even against this South Carolina defense, I believe that South Carolina defensively can get some stops. But it's not going to mean much if, their offense can't be able to handle their end of the deal. It's just really interesting looking at this game and trying to figure out which defense is going to have the better performance. Drake Maye is one of the best quarterbacks in college football. Even if South Carolina's defense is as good as what I think it can be this year, you still might not be able to slow down Drake Maye. Even though you do have really good cornerbacks, it's just Drake Maye just is so hard to stop because there's nothing this dude can't do. He can turn a bad play into a great play. That's what great quarterbacks do. Spencer Rattler, I like him. I do think he can be really good. Most people believe he is going to be an all-SEC player this year, but I don't know if the consistency is still going to be there for him. But I am going to take South Carolina to win this game, though. The reason why I like South Carolina, and I like them to win outright, and I like them to cover, because I just think they're just a way more talented team than what North Carolina is. I think that their defense should be improved. I don't think it's going to be a huge improvement on that side of the football, but I do think that South Carolina, with the talent that they got at cornerback and with their improved pass rush and third down situations, they should be able to get some stops. I know their offensive line is a concern, but I don't really think UNC has the talent on defense to be able to take advantage of a questionable offensive line. Just being honest. I like South Carolina to win this game, and this is my lock off the week. I don't really do a lot of betting stuff, but I feel really confident in Shane Beamer and the Beamer boys being able to pull off this victory. I like South Carolina 38-28 is my final score prediction.